On the coast of New Brunswick, the town of Shediac, known for its lobster, is also the home of an organization dedicated to providing sailing opportunities for persons with disabilities.
It's an awesome program, and anybody that can come out and try it, it's like, I would recommend it 110%.
My name is George Richard. I'm president of Able Sail Handy Voile of Shediac. We have two programs. We have a recreational program and we have a learn to sail program. In the recreational program, we take out over 300 people each season, and we still find new users every year.
My name is Linda Crosman, and I'm going able sailing this afternoon at 5 o'clock. It was 3 years ago, and I said to my girlfriend, I'm going to do this one day. And it's took me 3 years to get here. And I can tell you that it was just being in the water, how calming it is, meditation. You can meditate, you can have all your friends there. You know, they have a limit, of course, but you can bring your friends and enjoy such an experience out in the water. It can be choppy, it can be calm as bath water. It was so calm out there, so halfway we put the motor on and they let me drive it with the motor, and I brought it right into the harbor. And I said, I'm gonna bring it all the way around and park it next year by myself. So now I'm gonna learn to sail next year.
The recreational sailing program utilizes a boat. The brand is a Freedom 20. It's a 20-foot sailboat. It can hold up to 6 adults. In the way we operate, we have 2 trained staff that will accompany our clients or our guests. So that means we can take out 4 people at a time. And the 4 individuals can be a disabled person that brings family or friends, 3 family or friends, or it could be a caretaker that brings out 3 disabled or 3 people with special needs. So that boat goes out for a 90-minute outing. During our season, the boat goes out 6 times a day, 7 days a week. And it's recreational in nature. Most people go out just for the outing. If they want to learn, we will let them steer, we'll explain the theory, we will highlight the geographic landmarks, we will teach them a little bit.
My name is Mark Bridges. I'm a volunteer director with Able Sail Handy Voile in Shediac. Our 2 boats are side by side down at the dock, and so they can get a good look at the Learn to Sail boat. That is the Michael Dunn, the Martin 16. And they can be introduced to the boat and literally shown the boat by a coach so that they understand how it works. So if that person is interested, then we put the person, the next time they come, they'll try a session, a Learn to Sail session, and they go out with a coach and they actually take lessons.
Our first president, Michael Dunn, he started Able Sail.
Here at Shediac Bay Yacht Club, I remember our annual meeting. Paul Boudreau was the Commodore, I believe. That was 1982. In his talk on accepting the job, he mentioned how the boaters never get involved with the local community. And that kind of stuck in my mind. I mean, I forgot it at the time, but it was in the back of my mind, maybe for future use. I was traveling in business in those days, and I was usually spending 1 or 2 days in Toronto. And I liked going to see the boats, so I made sure I always had a couple hours to walk along the waterfront. And on one of these trips, I saw 3 or 4 people lifting a person from a wheelchair into a sailboat. And that connection came between what the Commodore said, we don't do anything for the community. And that's where kind of the original idea of trying it at Shediac, I realized that we could probably do something like this. So once, twice, 3 times a summer, we would bring people out from Pointe du Chien Yacht Club. And both Pointe du Chien Yacht Club and Shediac Bay Yacht Club have been really supportive of Able Sail ever since.
When I first came, I was a bit nervous. I don't like being lifted off my feet. Who does?
Being placed in a 4-point lifting harness in advance of the staff securing the pivoting chair on the sailboat, the electric lift is then used to slowly raise them up off their wheelchair so that they can be gently swung over to the pivoting chair.
Once you get into that seat and you're strapped in, you are safe. It's amazing feeling. I had little belly problems, a little nervousness. Oh gosh, what am I doing? Crazy? But it's not crazy. It's amazing.
Kellyanne, who has been sailing with us now for 3 or 4 years, I think. She is a girl that comes all the way from Fredericton. She comes down here and spends 1 full week here every summer, or at least she has for the last 4 years. And she sails a couple of times a day.
I just love being outside and like the freedom of doing it on my own and stuff like that. Yeah.
She simply enjoys sailing on her own for the pure joy of the sport and the peace and tranquility. She's not so interested in competing, but that's okay. That's how our program is designed. It's designed so that we can either get people to get into competitive sports and actually go in regattas and compete, or they can simply learn to sail to the extent that they can go out and sail on their own.
My name is Jillian Shepard, and I am the lead sailing partner here at Able Sail. There's a girl in our Learn to Sail program, her name is Kalika. She's been coming for probably 5 or 6 years, and I admire her determination. She's been through so much, and she thrives and just wants to be successful at everything she does, and I admire that, so she really is something.
I'm Marita Webb, and I am Kalika Webb's mother. Kalika's been involved with Able Sail since 2014. It's been a lot of fun and interesting to watch Kalika go from the Gordon McRae into the Michael Dunn and pretty much sailing on her own with some coaching. The biggest reward is the fact that she's actually done these things and the smiles that we get afterwards and the excitement that just sort of exudes right out of her from doing these activities is really, really great and inspiring for a lot of people. I think it gives her some stress relief just to let go and feel the wind and just be in nature, doing things and knowing the fact that she can actually do this and pretty much do it without a whole lot of assistance. It's just a sense of freedom. And she just loves when the wind and the water are a little bit rough, and she has that speed and the boat sort of goes on its side, and if somebody gets wet, well, that's just a perfect day for her. So she just loves it.
We hire young students with sailing skills, and you watch them mature over the 2, 3, or 4 years that you have them as employees. It's watching some of our clients, like I'll take Alisor as an example. She came in, she had never sailed in her life, and we hired her as a summer student, and she tried sailing, she loved it, and she learned very quickly. Now she competes in different regattas across the country.
Before I started working here, I had never sailed, so it was all new to me. So they quickly introduced me to sailing.
My name is Lynn Belleveau, and I'm Melissa Bellevo's mom, who works with Able Sail. I'm also a mother of 2 girls with muscular dystrophy. A guy from a school that was working here for the summer, and he approached her wanting her to work here because she had a disability. They wanted to hire somebody here with a disability, so he approached her and she came, and luckily for us she did, because she found her passion. She really absolutely enjoys sailing.
After I got used to sailing the recreational boat, they introduced me to the Learn to Sail program. So we have a Martin 16 here, so I started sailing that. later that summer, they were like, oh, would you be interested in going to a competition? So I was sailing for like maybe 2 months, and then they sent me to, I think it was Victoria, BC, for the Mobility Cup. The first time I went to the Mobility Cup, I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot of new things, met a lot of new people, great people. I finished 6th, and I got Rookie of the Year. My second Mobility Cup was in Pointe-Claire, Quebec, and that year I finished 2nd in the Silver Fleet out of, I think there was 22 boats. So now every year I usually go, so I see a lot of the same people there, so it's really nice to all like see each other again and have fun on the water.
My name is Mark Beliveau. I'm Alyssa Beliveau's father. We've met a lot of wonderful people over the past 4 years that are involved in sailing with the Mobility Cup, whether it's behind the scenes or the sailors themselves.
So I do appreciate my parents' support through all of my competitions. I do travel a lot for sailing, well, I have in the last few years, and usually one of them always comes with me to support me and cheer me on. So a big thanks to them.
In life, everybody has challenges, but when they can find something that they enjoy and that they can do, and they get the freedom, and just is, for me as a parent, it's awesome to see that.
And Alisa impresses me very much. She, as George says, she always has a smile on her face until she's starting to compete. And then she puts on these aviator sunglasses and she gets this sort of steely-eyed look on her face of determination, absolute determination. And it's so incredible to see how much fun she's having because of her smiling face, but when she's competing, it's all business.
This upcoming Saturday, there is our biggest fundraiser of the year. Believe it or not, we typically serve 450 breakfasts during the morning.
We have a big breakfast over at the Pointe-aux-Chenes Yacht Club, which is a community neighboring Shediac here. We get much of the products that we serve as part of the breakfast donated by community sponsors. We then sell tickets for $10 a piece to our friends and neighbors and program users and relatives. We will ask them to bring their friends, and we serve 400 or 500 breakfasts during the course of that event. Following that, we have the Gordon McRae Memorial Yacht Race, where we might have between 40 and 50 sailboats register.
Gordon McRae was one of our first users. He was 10 or 11 years old at the time. This goes back to 1985. He was just a little fella. He was very enthusiastic, very motivated. He was fun to take out on a regular sailboat.
My name is Bill McRae. I'm the father of Gordon McRae. Unfortunately, Gordon, who had cerebral palsy, although quite mentally bright, was quite physically disabled, and he passed away in 1988. Shortly after that, Michael Dunn approached us and said they had bought a special type of sailboat that would help teach handicapped people how to learn how to sail. And they asked if they could name it after Gordon. Eventually, about, I'm guessing 8 or 10 years ago, they decided to have the Gordon McRae Memorial Race. And that encompasses many sailors from both the Shediac and the Pointe-aux-Chenes Yacht Club.
These are not always the typical yacht racing crews that we see come out. Sometimes they're people who generally don't race during the course of their summer, but this brings everybody out.
There's no hard starting time. Sailors can start anywhere between 1 and 1:30. There's someone that will note down their time. So it's not stressful. It's a fun race. For people to participate, they have to pay $10 per crew member, and we do raise money.
Following the race, back here at the Shediac Yacht Club, we have the prize presentations to the winners of the various categories, and then it's followed up by a supper here that we serve at the Shediac Yacht Club, along with the band that comes and provides the entertainment for us.
The knowledgeable young staff at Able Sail are an important part of the organization's success.
Are you comfortable? Yeah, do you want to move your seat back at all? You good? Okay.
In the past 4 years, all the times I've been out on the boat, the young staff, it's amazing how courteous, professional, just go out of their way to make you feel comfortable, to make sure that the passengers are safe.
There's so many straps on this one, right?
I think it's more of the perspective of this job. You know, I wake up every day and it's like, not like, oh, I have to go to work today. It's I get to go to work today. It's not even like a job to me. It's like I'm getting paid to teach these wonderful people how to sail, and it's like, and every outing is different, and every day is not the same. And I think I like that, just the change and the atmosphere here at Able Sail.
My name is Dr. Ed Doherty. I'm the MLA for St. John Harbour in the government of New Brunswick. I have played adaptive sports all my life. Sports provide a wonderful leveling field for those with disabilities, and it's programs like Able Sail, which will provide the opportunity for those with disabilities to learn to sail in an adaptive fashion and experience the joy of it.
One thing about Able Sails is the people behind Able Sails. It's people that have a passion for sailing, a passion for helping others.
There's many volunteers in the background helping us be a success. It was this spring we had trouble with one of our chairs, the mechanism, the counterweight mechanism. And Michael came along, he crawled into this tight space to help us fix the chair. You know, he started Able Sail 30-some years ago, and he's still here to help us, and we really appreciate that.
Able Sail is stronger than it's ever been, you know. Now that we're participating in things like Mobility Cup, the national championship, or like a competition, we're very, very solid today compared to how shaky we were in the beginning.
Mark finds opportunities for us to promote our program and to grow our Learn to Sail, which is more of a one-on-one learning to sail program.
Any category of disability qualifies for Able Sail's program. So that would include not only physical disabilities, but mental and emotional disabilities as well. We have gone out of our way this year to try to raise public awareness about that, the symptoms and how frequent we find those people suffering from PTSD in the community, and trying to attract them to our program, because we all know people that use our program, sailors like myself and other members of the board, we all know that sailing is a very therapeutic activity. And our experience so far is those people that we have been able to attract this year, they all love it. They all absolutely are thrilled with the experience so far, and we know that they're going to come back a lot for the rest of this year, but also for next year.
One thing we've discovered recently is we don't have a sip and puff system. That's for the quadriplegics, and we've observed those boats at the Mobility Cup and at other venues across Canada, so we're looking into purchasing that. And if we purchase that, we're even considering buying a second boat, a Martin 16 for the Learn to Sail. It would give us more flexibility and allow us to take out more users. Our future at Able Sail here in Shediac, we want to grow our recreational program, and of course we want to grow our Learn to Sail program.
I know I've reached out and met a lot of wonderful people, and they're afraid. They're afraid to do things. They're afraid to be a part. They need to be just told to let go and do it. Just don't be afraid. And you're going to be so surprised and so happy you've done it, and you'll want to come back just like me. This is my 3rd time this month. And I thought today was the last day, you know, like I gotta do it. So you too, come out and sail.
I think it's, of course, like getting on a boat, even if you're not familiar with water or sailing, like obviously that's like you're stepping out of your comfort zone. It's a scary thing, but it's like it's a whole other world out in the water and out on the boat. And some people don't realize that until they get out there, and it's just such a great thing to be a part of.